A lot of tennis players look at tennis as basically a game of skill, have great forehands and backhands, have great technique, and you can win the match. But you could also look at it very tactically, aim at your opponent's weakness, or move them side to side, and yes, you can win the match. Both perspectives are very, very valid, but a lot of tennis players may not see the poker element of tennis. Yes, tennis can be a game of chance, a game of bluffing, a game of gambling. Well, let's take a look at that aspect, but before we do, let's check out this point real quick. I'm the one serving, Silas is the one returning. So what did we just see here? And it's basically a serve and volley towards Silas, with Silas missing the return. But let's understand the context here. This was in the middle of a tie break, and before this, I was getting hammered by Silas's ground strokes. His ground strokes were getting better and better, and I was not interested in another ground stroke battle. I needed some way to break the rhythm, and I have not served and volleyed yet. I haven't thrown that in yet, so he hasn't seen it yet, at least in this particular match. So I went with it, hoping to surprise him and not get into any rally, but also not get into any volleys. I wasn't interested in volleying in itself, right? But I was ready for it, but I was not interested. I was hoping to simply get a return error, and that's what happened, right? And it was a big time risk. You know, it was risky. It's a bold move, but that's what you got to do sometimes. You got to gamble, you got to bluff, and this was straight up bluff here. My movement is really what forced the error, right? Normally, Silas would return it back to me hard and deep, but this one went out wide by just a little bit. You know, he just missed a little bit here, maybe a couple inches, and that's all it takes, right? So sometimes in tennis, you just got to go for it a little bit. Throw in something where you're not very comfortable at. I'm not comfortable serving and volleying. That's not my game. Volleying is not my game. But I went with it because I needed to break rhythm, and I knew the ground stroke battle was favoring Silas more and more. So that worked out for me well on this point. Here's an example of another poker play, another bluff, another gamble. But be warned though, a lot of tennis players are offended by this type of serve. All right, second set. Oh man. So obviously this was the underhand or the underarm serve, and in this particular point was actually the first point of the second set. But let's imagine this is 4-all, 30-all. Very important point. It's in the second set, maybe with me closing out the set there. Would you do it? Would you do the underhand serve? And, you know, why not, right? Andrew has not seen my underhand serve before, at least in this match. So this was something I was keeping under my sleeve there, and it worked. It was actually also a windy day, and so I was hoping maybe that the wind will kind of take it, right? And so I went with this underhand serve, and it totally worked, and he missed this one by a mile. This miss hit went straight to the moon there. So, you know, a lot of us, we don't like to gamble, right? And I bet some of you out there go to Vegas, you go on the slot machines or you go on the poker table and you gamble hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Why not do this on the tennis court? Throw in some bluffing here and there, right? When you lose in a tennis point, right, you just lose the point in itself, or you just hurt your ego a little bit if you lose a point, right? But you don't lose hundreds of dollars, right? So why not? Why not go for some of these serve and volleys, these underhand serves? And, you know, when it works, right, it's very, very enjoyable and very, very rewarding. We can't always play conventional, right? We've got to throw in something where we can surprise our opponents. So why not go for it? Go for some of these big, bold moves, these gambling moves, these bluffing moves, and maybe that'll help your tennis matches. If you enjoyed this video, kindly do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.